Hallelujah. 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 Abiyah, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to speak. May my voice be heard. May you be heard through my voice, and may your will be done always. Hallelujah. Okay, today I want to speak on they don't know me. He knows me. They don't know me, but he knows. He knows. So many don't know my past like that. They know the man that they deal with now or that they see now. And of course, they have a right to their own judgment, their right to their own opinion. But to not know the whole story or the conclusion of the whole matter, I think they miss and they don't get it right. See, when I was young, I was very silent. I was to myself, and a lot of times when I speak on these things like that, people say, "Oh, well, you sound like a victim." And I'm like, I am not a victim. I am not the same person that I was. But I speak on these things because now I can celebrate my victory. I'm a victor. I'm not a victim. I went through a lot of abuse in my youth. And so I speak on this because there are other people that have went through these things. And honestly, I went through these things in silence. I didn't speak on it when it was happening a lot of times because I didn't have an advocate. I didn't have anybody to stand up for me. There was nobody coming to save me. I had to endure all of that hardship, and I was far from a soldier. I was frail, small in size, weak. And there was no one saving me. You know, started going to church, Christian church, and, you know, that was an escape. But even in that, there was no one saving. So I started basically looking for my death. I anticipated my death. Didn't expect to live past 18. Didn't have a high life expectancy. I didn't see value in myself. And it took me many years, even after I came to know that God loved me and that He assigned me, that I had value. So I'm going to go to the Word and show some things, that I know now, or that not I don't just believe, but I have a relationship with. So I'm gonna just start off and I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. So the first thing I'm gonna start off with, let me share my screen, is this. This is something to me that's very important to know. Very. It says right here that Yah was speaking to Moshe, and it says, "And you shall say to Pharaoh, Thus said Yahuwah, Israel is my son, my firstborn." You know, when I came up, they was teaching me that we were of Ham. Didn't relate that could be Israel. And then everything was focused on individuality. Had to, worry about you. But now I'm seeing it, I began to see in here that it's speaking of a whole nation and calling that whole nation a son and firstborn son. Let me keep going. They would tell you that, you were not under the law and stuff like that. And I ate that up. My older people over me or those in authority over me, I listened to them, and a lot of times it still didn't come to my advantage. Even when I followed the rules that were going by, it was a lot of stuff that never came about to be fair towards me. And I learned to not look for things to be fair. It's just like it is what it is. People say, well, you do this, you'll get this result, and that's not always true. People say you work hard, you'll get ahead. And I worked harder than a lot of folks and never really was getting ahead. They said, basically, you don't have to complain about things. You just be quiet. And the more I be quiet, the more I would be abused and bullied. The more I shut my mouth, the more things occurred to me over and over. And people did not even have a notion to quit. But here it goes. Shemot, or Exodus 19. It says that now if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant. And this guard does not mean what most mean, put it to mean, but it means shamar. Some people will say it means keep or do, but it means to shamar. It means to guard. What it's actually saying, it says guard, is to observe it. Yes, you do, in a sense, keep it, but that completely, you're not going to be perfect, or what we have been known or taught to be perfect on everything. The biblical understanding of perfect is to be mature. So let me read it again. And now, if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, you obeying his instructions, his Torah, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. This is again speaking to Israel. And you shall be to me a reign of priests. All of Israel are to be a reign of priests, a kingdom and its dominion, and a set apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to the children of Israel. It's not spoken to everybody on earth, but to Israel specifically. Kingdom of priests. So those things right there are my foundation. Those are things that I hold, just near to me. My heart is over here, but I'm, hitting with this hand, I hold dear. So now I see I'm a part of Israel, so I'm a son. I'm not by myself exclusive. It's all of us. And I'm supposed to be a royal priest, one of many. People say, well, you're not a Levite. I live my life trying to live in obedience. Now, I started learning some secular things, like say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. I was silent on a lot of stuff. I was shy. I was timid, but that timidity didn't get me anywhere. And it's good that, the biblical narrative gives you examples of things. When in 2001, when I was actually in the action of really thinking of suicide, when I had an encounter with Yah, he told me that I belonged to him. I was his property. I called him God then. And also, that I was pre-assigned from birth. And I'm like, me? The one that nobody listens to? The one that many don't value? Me? You value me? You stopping me? You telling me that I'm your possession? That my later days will be greater? I was going through a divorce at that time. Now I'm in another marriage, and I've been in this marriage for 22 years. That was 2001, January 2001. It's 2025 right now. 2025. I'm not even the man that I was then. In my youth, I was silent. Now people say I talk too much. I don't shut up. No. When I feel like Yah's leading me, I speak up. I'm not a victim. I'm not, just because I explain things that happened in my past, I know I'm not a victim. I'm victorious. This is why I'm speaking. When I was a victim, I was silent. I didn't speak. I didn't say much. When I was getting beat regularly by friends, by family, by the bullies, I didn't have nobody to run to. I didn't have an older brother that was available, older cousin that was helping. I didn't have anybody to assist me. I had to take those whoopings until I got big enough to start fighting for myself, start speaking up. Almost everything changed when I learned to start speaking up for myself. Now, one thing though, is that I started getting dependent on me. That's a negative because you're supposed to depend on Yah. But Yah showed me that He was always there. I didn't realize it because I felt like Yah had forsaken me all my youth. Because in my thoughts, my mom forsake me, leaving me with people who would abuse me and knew I would tell her they abused me, and yet I go end up back in their care. I used to hold that against my mom, and I'm not trying to do that. She come from the same situation. My grandmother was an interesting person. I'll just say it like that. My grandmother used to hurt me a lot. Love her, but still, some people have a pleasant memory of her. A lot of my memories aren't that pleasant. Me being the oldest in the house, a lot of times I got penalized, even when the younger ones did stuff. It wasn't me, and saying and telling didn't make a difference because I still got it. Again, I'm not playing victim. This is stuff that happened, and I got victory over it now. But let me read something here, something that encouraged me even more. I'm gonna go over here. Here we go. Yirmiyahu, Yahoo, or Jeremiah 1. The words of Yirmiyahu, the son of Hilkiyahu, of the priests, who were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahuwah came in the days of Yoshiyahu, son of Ammon, sovereign of Yehuda, in the 13th year of the reign of his reign. And it came in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Yoshiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda, until the end of the 11th year of Zikiryahu, son of Yoshiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda, until the exile of Jerusalem in the fifth new moon, fifth month. Now the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, in the womb, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I did set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Yah's not a respecter of person. If I call myself a prophet, I'm pretty sure many people will be upset with me and stuff like that and have a problem, but Yah has called me. I have accepted that I am a prophet. No, I am not perfect in my speech. So again, people say, well, you prophet lie, or you don't always be on point, but a lot of times I am. Again, I don't claim this title, whatever, because I know how that attracts attack. But then again, I claim his title. So how does that, it's like, man, it's a catch 22. But anyway, y'all knew me in the womb. Man, anybody know what I was playing chess at 3 years old? A lot of stuff. I was doing a lot of things that showed I was advanced at an early age, but I didn't have people behind me. My mother was behind me, so I know that, but people would basically try to downgrade her for being behind me. A lot of times when my mom would sort of shelter me and cover me, they made it where she couldn't. A lot of times, my mom, in taking care of her mother, sometimes she, even though her mother had more wealth or whatever, or resources, my mother still had to go to work. So, you know, she had to leave me with people that were threats towards me. And, I see it a little bit different now, but I used to be upset with my mom over it. But a lot of situations she didn't really have a choice. She didn't have nobody getting her back. The same silence that came from me, and I've seen her operate in that. I've seen people trying to make a victim of my mom a lot, take advantage of my mom. And so I had to forgive her definitely. And we don't have the closeness that we probably should. But again, my mom used to cover me and pour into me so much. She was teaching me stuff, teaching me, I learned some stuff before I was ever going to school. She was teaching me a lot. but they basically took her away from doing that a lot of times. With my other cousins living at home, she had to sometimes divide her attention with me with others, and I would be very jealous. She has a closer relationship, I believe, with my cousin than she does with me. But now it's like, okay, so be it. But again, in my childhood, I was very jealous. And of course, to speak up on anything, I might get my butt whooped. So I shut up on a lot of stuff. But anyway, it said, Master Yahuwah, see, I do not know how to speak, for I'm a youth. I used to talk to myself, but many don't recognize that they won't acknowledge that I didn't talk much. And when I did, I stammered, I stuttered. I said, well, you don't have that problem now, but every once in a while, people catch it and notice it that I still do stutter. My words come to my mind so quick, and to keep up with the words in my mind is difficult. My mind is constantly moving. My thoughts are constantly moving. People say, well, you post so much. A lot of times because so much is on my mind. Things from the past, I'm thinking about things that I don't even I'm an empath, so I can empathize with somebody else's situation and then have my own situations, or have this person, this person. I'm all over the place a lot of times. And that's because Yah has allowed me to be able to gather a lot of information and even decipher a lot of information. But a lot of times my mouth can't keep up with it. And then I don't have the audience. A lot of times that's why I post a lot of videos and stuff, because again, I had to get it out. And I don't really have the audience like that to talk to straight face to face a lot of times. But I know how to speak now. I know how to project my voice. I'm not the most silent person anymore, but I used to be. In high school, they called me speechless because I was scared to talk to girls. Percy McGee labeled me that in Mr. Kirkland's biology class. Yep, but I'm not that person anymore. But people don't remember my youth. They only remember what they deal with now. I got a lot of people that still from those past days. They may remember it slightly, but I say so much, I do so much now that they forget all of that past. My past is erased. Even my family. My family, a lot of times, they have a problem with me because they're like, you got too much to say when, I used to didn't say nothing. They liked it when I was silent, when I shut up. But again, and said Master Yahuwah, see, I do not know how to speak, for I am a youth. And Yahuwah said to me, do not say I am a youth, but go to all whom I send you. People get upset that I do go to people that I'm sent to and speak whatever I command. I don't have the best tact or balance. I can admit to that. But best believe I pray for people that don't like me. I speak to people that don't like me a lot of times when Yah has told me to move. I maybe I don't have the honey on my tongue or whatever, but I say what I'm supposed to say. Sometimes I may say more than what I'm supposed to say. But anyway, do not fear their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, declares Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahuwah said to me, see, I have put my words in your mouth. I don't stammer as much as I used to, but I still do. I get caught up in it every once in a while. And I don't have a problem with people. The shame I used to feel. I used to be shamed to speak in front of people or whatever. Um, I had so much fear about being in front of a crowd and all that stuff. And even when it came to just doing this internet thing, many people, if you remember, I wasn't doing videos for many years. I was putting up posts, but I wasn't doing videos. Dr. Howard, said, basically he motivated me to start doing videos more. And I feel like I've gotten better, but I still rough on the edges. You don't even see any of my graphic knowledge as far as with graphic design in any of my videos because I don't use any of that because I don't try to market my videos like that. I want to say what I say and let that be the draw and not the visual. I do put, backgrounds and stuff like that, but I don't do all of the extra stuff that other people do. And I'm not knocking them for doing it, but I don't want you to be here because of the aesthetics. I want you to hear what I got to say and keep it moving. Okay. See, I have this day set you over a nation, over the nations and over the reigns, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. I'm over my household. This is my reign that he's put me over. I don't have no assembly, unless you want to call One Vision Ministry, but that's this home place. And yeah, I was the moray of Flint for Great Awakening for a short period of time, and to talk on that sometimes even bothers some people because they don't remember it, or even if they do, they like, why do you have to, use that or whatever? I guess they say I'm clout chasing or whatever by saying that, but it's just the truth. It is what it is. And the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, what do you see, Yirmiyahu? And I said, I see a branch of an almond tree. And Yahuwah said to me, you have seen well, for I am watching over my word to do it. So I'm not done. I got work to do when it comes to, ministry and everything else. I'm not done. Yahuwah's been watching over since '01. Even before the end. Many people will say that, he doesn't deal with people that's in sin. And it's like, my early years after coming out of my shyness, I went level 10 far as wickedness and doing stuff. And if it wasn't for him drawing me back in, I probably should be dead for real. Even though I thought I was going to be dead, I was doing stuff that could have got me, straight up out of here. You know, it seemed that I progressed more in life when I operated without a conscience or acted as if I didn't have a conscience. Money, women, all those things came to me with ease when I was doing bad. Now that I'm living righteous or trying to live righteous, I'm not 100% righteous anyway, but there's a lot of struggle. You know, I constantly have situations where people put me in that victim seat, and no, they try to put me in there. You know, and I speak out on it. I don't expect everything to be fair, but I see things, and hey, who you think you're dealing with? You know, if I'm not going along to get along, I'm easy to excommunicate or separate from for some. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be anywhere that I'm just tolerated anyway. So cool. I'm not a victim. But I still won't talk on stuff because there are people that can relate. There are days that I didn't feel like I had value, but when I got closer to my later 40s, that's a long time, 40 years in life, that I start really feeling valuable. Now, I've been married to my wife for 22 years, so that's, I'm 50, finna be 53 this month. So she's seen value in me for a while. She's always been pouring into me that she sees value. And so I'm thankful for that. But me, I didn't see all of it because the things that were going on in life, a lot of times, like, man, you're a laborer, you struck, I'm like, people come to me for stuff and it's like, man, why me? I don't have an abundance of this, abundance of that. You know, though I sow into a lot of people, a lot of situations in the past or whatever, it's many times I have needs myself. And I'm I'm like, man, I could use the help. But again, I'm not a victim. So I know that a lot of my choices got me to this point of where I'm at. So I'm like, okay, I get in the mud, deal with the muck and the mire, and I get it out the mud. I get it. When I started this business of making t-shirts, hey, that's to get it out the mud. I'll sell you something. I'll make something to make some money instead of me begging and stuff like that. It's a lot of times that I have some struggle moments or whatever and stuff like that, but I don't expose those until I get to a moment of victory. You won't know that I'm in a perilous time most of the time until I'm through it. And so I'm sharing it from the victim perspective, you think, but that's because I'm through it. And so somebody else can relate to it. And now I can talk to them on their level. I can empathize. But again, you may not know me. They may not know me. Yah knows me. And I'm good. I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing. Some people say I look young for finna be 53. I'm not stressing. A little bit, getting a little bit overweight because I eat good. I need to cut back on that a little bit, probably, and do some more other stuff. But again, I'm not a victim. I just know my value, and I'm gonna speak up when things are out of place. I'm gonna speak up when people are trying to do me wrong. I'm gonna speak up when I see other people being done wrong. It don't even have to concern me, and that's one thing. If we all Israel, if my arm and I'm a leg is being affected, I gotta say something. Otherwise the body is injured. But that's not the mindset of most of y'all. Y'all mindset, it ain't my problem, but it is if you're Israel, because we're one body, one nation. But that's against some people's train of thought. They don't see it like that. They can let somebody that they love go through some things and just witness it and watch it. And then the only time they have a problem is when that same situation comes their way, when they could have been a part of the solution even before it even got to them. But again, we're a kingdom of priests. All right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. I thank you for this opportunity to talk. You know, sort of a vent, sort of a just letting some things out. I just thank you that you give me this time and you giving me the voice to speak. I'm gonna probably be the one, the one person that watched this video. My wife, she'll likely watch it, but I thank you that you give me the opportunity to put forth a resource that I can go back to and remember where I was and where I am today. May others use this tool to their advantage. I accept any constructive criticism. I thank you for this day. Got to prepare for work. Thank you for preparing my heart for work and for this message. Hallelujah. Shalom.